Ladies and gentlemen, today we gather to celebrate what we call a birthday, a joyous occasion full of love, laughter, and life. But have you ever stopped to think why we celebrate it so emphatically? Why does every passing year become a festivity instead of reflection? It may sound somber, but I invite you to consider this. The birthday is an effort to forget your death day. Let that thought linger for a moment. Every year, when a birthday comes around, we are essentially celebrating the passage of time. It's a marker, a checkpoint on the timeline of our existence. However, while birthdays are seen as joyful milestones, they are, at the same time, quiet reminders of the finite nature of our lives. The number we add each year is not just a badge of experience, but also a subtle count of the years we have used up. It is the paradox of aging. The more we live, the closer we come to the end, and yet, this truth is often veiled beneath ribbons, candles, and well wishes. The focus of birthdays is deliberately cheerful. We highlight the blessings we've received, the people who love us, and the things we've achieved. This emphasis on positivity is natural and comforting, but it also acts as a distraction. It draws our attention away from what is equally true, that we are growing older, that time is slipping through our fingers, and that life, no matter how vibrant, has its limits. We cling to celebration to ward off the unsettling realization that each birthday is not just a continuation of life, but a step closer to death. In simplest terms, despite the certainty of mortality, it is rarely acknowledged in birthday celebrations. We sing songs, give gifts, and plan parties, but seldom do we reflect on the meaning of this annual marker in the grander scheme of our existence. Society conditions us to view aging as progress, as something to be proud of, but it does so while glossing over the deeper implications. In this way, birthdays become one-sided. They honor the life that is visible and ignore the death that is inevitable. The selective focus creates a false sense of permanence, as though growing older doesn't come with an expiration date. This one-sided celebration reveals much about human psychology. We crave hope, we cling to joy, and we avoid the painful. Birthdays allow us to pretend, even momentarily, that we are timeless, that another year added is another victory against the unknown. But time is indifferent. Each birthday is a silent toll of the bell, reminding us that life, while precious, is also perishable. The irony lies in our joyful cheers for more years, even as those very years draw us closer to the final one. Human beings have a remarkable capacity for denial, especially when it comes to confronting uncomfortable truths like death. Birthdays, with their festivities and joyous atmosphere, serve as a powerful tool for this denial. Deep down, many of us carry an inherent fear of our own mortality, a fear that can be so unsettling that it influences how we perceive and interact with the world. When we celebrate a birthday, we immerse ourselves in happiness, social connection, and rituals, which become a comforting shield, helping us momentarily push aside the anxiety about the inevitable end that awaits us all. This distraction is not necessarily a conscious choice. Often it operates beneath the surface of our awareness, woven into the fabric of our cultural and personal traditions. The cake, the candles, the laughter, and the gifts are all part of a collective effort to focus solely on life's pleasures. These celebratory acts redirect our attention away from the somber reality of death by enveloping ourselves in joy. We manage to create a space where the idea of mortality doesn't intrude, allowing us to savor the moment without the weight of existential dread pressing down on our minds. Moreover, birthdays create a rhythm of life that reinforces this distraction. Each year, the arrival of this day serves as a reminder that we have survived another year, reinforcing a sense of achievement and resilience. This recurring celebration becomes a psychological balm, reassuring us that life continues, despite the unknowns lurking ahead. In this way, the birthday party becomes more than just a social event, it becomes a ritualized act of courage, a collective refusal to succumb to the fear of death by choosing to honor life with exuberance and gratitude. Yet, while this distraction helps maintain our mental and emotional balance, it also reveals an essential tension within human nature. We want to live fully and embrace happiness, but at the same time we instinctively try to avoid the discomfort of confronting death. The birthday then is a delicate dance between these two impulses, the desire to celebrate existence and the need to keep the shadow of mortality at bay. This interplay shapes much of how we experience birthdays, giving them their unique blend of joy, hope, and quiet denial. Life and death exist as two inseparable sides of the same coin. Without death, life would lose much of its meaning, just as a day without night would feel incomplete. This deep interconnection is fundamental to how we perceive our existence. When we truly understand the reality of death, that it is inevitable and universal, it forces us to confront the preciousness of life. Recognizing that our time is limited compels us to appreciate moments, relationships, and experiences with the heightened sense of urgency and gratitude. The awareness of death lends significance to the choices we make in life. When life is seen as infinite or guaranteed, it can sometimes breed complacency. However, knowing that our days are numbered often inspires us to live more intentionally. It encourages us to prioritize what truly matters, whether that is cultivating love, pursuing passions, or seeking personal growth. The birthday, as a celebration of life's passage, can become a powerful occasion for reflecting on how they become urgent on a heart living, but who hangs their death in the sky. And moreover, the interplay between life and death also influences our cultural and spiritual beliefs. Many traditions use rituals around birth and death to make sense of this cycle, to find comfort, and to express hope. Birthdays remind us not only that we have arrived, but that one day we will depart. This dual recognition can deepen our connection to others, fostering empathy and compassion because we all share the vulnerability of mortality. By acknowledging death, we often become more attuned to the fragility and beauty of life around us. Finally, embracing the intertwining of life and death allows us to approach existence with humility and wisdom. It frees us from illusions of permanence and control, encouraging acceptance of life's natural rhythms. They become opportunities to honor the delicate balance between holding on to life and letting go, reminding us that every breath we take is a gift made more valuable because it is finite. While birthdays are traditionally seen as celebrations filled with happiness, gifts, and social gatherings, they hold much deeper potential when approached with intention. Beyond the surface level joy, birthdays can serve as significant moments for personal reflection, a chance to pause and look back on the journey traveled so far. It is a moment to consider the choices we've made, the lessons learned, and the growth achieved. Reflecting on our lives during birthdays transforms them from mere festive occasions into milestones of self-awareness and wisdom. Reflection during birthdays allows us to assess the alignment between who we are and who we aspire to be. This best day offers a natural pause. Are we nurturing our levering, attention, and purpose? By engaging with these questions, we deepen our understanding of our values and priorities, potentially inspiring changes that lead to a more fulfilling life. In addition, reflection helps us come to terms with our limitations and challenges. Birthdays can remind us of not only successes but also failures and regrets. Rather than shying away from these uncomfortable truths, reflecting on them with compassion can be healing. It teaches resilience, the ability to forgive ourselves, and the courage to try again. This deeper engagement with our past allows us to carry forward the wisdom gained, enriching our future experiences and helping us grow emotionally and spiritually. Finally, approaching birthdays with reflection encourages us to cultivate gratitude. When we pause to contemplate the people, experiences, and opportunities that have shaped us, we naturally develop a sense of appreciation. Gratitude shifts our perspective from scarcity to abundance, from what is missing to what is present. This mindset enhances our overall well-being and infuses our celebrations with meaning beyond the fleeting pleasures of the moment. Thus, birthdays become not only joyful but deeply nourishing occasions for the soul. Human beings have a complex relationship with death, often characterized by denial and avoidance. This denial is a natural defense mechanism that helps us cope with the overwhelming reality of our finite existence. Since acknowledging death fully can provoke fear, sadness, or anxiety, we tend to push it out of our conscious mind. In this context, birthdays emerge as symbolic events that allow us to counterbalance this fear by immersing ourselves in the joy of life. Each celebration acts as a reaffirmation of vitality, a way to assert that life continues despite the inevitability of death. The act of celebrating birthdays with greater intensity each year can be seen as a response to this underlying denial. As time goes on and we become more aware of our mortality, we may feel an increasing urgency to make the most of our lives. This urgency manifests in grander celebrations, more meaningful experiences, or a stronger desire to be surrounded by loved ones. These amplified expressions of joy are attempts to create a buffer against the creeping awareness of death, to convince ourselves and others that life is vibrant, abundant, and worth savoring. This dynamic also reflects a deeper human need for control and meaning. While death is unpredictable and uncontrollable, birthdays provide a ritualized moment where we can exert some mastery over time. By marking another year survived, we symbolically push back against the finality of death. The candles we blow out, the wishes we make, and the shared laughter become small acts of rebellion against the inevitable. This intensified celebration reassures us that for now, life remains within our grasp, and our story is still unfolding. However, this denial cue celebration is a double-edged sword. While it motivates us to cherish life and connect with others, it can also prevent us from facing the truth that gives our existence deeper meaning. If our celebrations are solely fueled by the need to integrate this reality into our worldview in a healthy and enriching way, recognizing this balance is key to transforming birthdays from mere distractions into moments of profound significance. Acknowledging and accepting the reality of our mortality is one of the most profound steps toward living a life filled with meaning and purpose. When we come to terms with the fact that our time on this earth is limited, it brings clarity to what truly matters. Instead of drifting through days aimlessly or postponing dreams indefinitely, acceptance of death acts as a catalyst for intentional living. It urges us to prioritize values, relationships, and goals that resonate deeply with who we are, inspiring us to make choices that enrich our experience rather than waste it. This acceptance also shifts our perspective on challenges and setbacks. When we understand that life is fleeting, trivial worries and temporary failures lose their overwhelming power. We become more resilient and courageous, recognizing that every moment is precious and that setbacks are part of the journey rather than insurmountable obstacles. This mindset encourages us to take risks, pursue passions, and embrace change without the paralyzing fear of failure. Ultimately, accepting mortality liberates us from the shackles of fear and helps us engage fully with the present. Moreover, mortality acceptance fosters deeper connections with others. When we realize that our time and the time of those we love are limited, we are more likely to express gratitude, forgiveness, and kindness. This awareness can mend broken relationships and strengthen bonds, as it reminds us that life's true wealth lies in the people who share it with us. Birthdays, seen through this lens, become not just celebrations of age, but affirmations of shared experiences and mutual care, emphasizing the human connections that give our lives richness and depth. Finally, embracing mortality can inspire a sense of peace and acceptance toward the natural cycles of life. Rather than fearing death as an end, we can begin to see it as part of a larger continuum, a transition that gives meaning to beginnings and growth. This acceptance encourages us to live harmoniously with the rhythms of life, cultivating gratitude for each stage and each breath. When birthdays are recognized as opportunities to honor this balance, they transform into profound reminders that every year is a gift and every moment a chance to live purposefully. True celebration is not merely about exuberant joy or surface level happiness. It is a deeper, richer experience that embraces the full spectrum of life's realities. This includes not only the bright moments of laughter and success, but also the sober awareness of life's impermanence. When we celebrate with the understanding that our time is limited, our appreciation intensifies. Every smile, every hug, and every shared moment gains added significance because we recognize that these are fleeting gifts. This balanced awareness transforms celebrations from fleeting distractions into meaningful rituals of gratitude and presence. Embracing both joy and limitation encourages authenticity in how we live and celebrate. It allows us to accept our vulnerabilities and fears alongside our happiness and achievements. Rather than masking difficult truths with forced cheerfulness, we create space for genuine emotion, vulnerability, and connection. This kind of celebration fosters a sense of community and shared humanity because it acknowledges that all of us face the challenges of existence together. Birthdays, in this light, become opportunities to honor not only the individual but the collective human experience with all its complexity and depth. Moreover, the fusion of joy and mortality awareness inspires us to live more consciously. When we are fully aware that life is finite, we become more mindful of how we spend our time and energy. Celebrations then serve as reminders to focus on what truly matters. Meaningful relationships, purposeful work, acts of kindness, and moments of peace. This mindfulness enhances our ability to savor the present without getting lost in regrets of the past or anxieties about the future. It encourages a celebration that is not just about adding years to life, but adding life to years. Finally, this holistic approach to celebration offers a profound sense of fulfillment and peace. It helps us move beyond the superficial chase for pleasure or avoidance of discomfort toward a more integrated experience of living. By embracing life's joys alongside its limits, we develop resilience and acceptance, cultivating a spirit that can rejoice even in the face of uncertainty. Birthdays become sacred milestones, not only marking the passage of time, but also honoring the courage to live fully, despite knowing that life is temporary and precious. In conclusion, birthdays are much more than simple celebrations. They are profound reminders woven into the fabric of our lives, markers of time that invite us to reflect on the delicate balance between life and death. While they offer joy and togetherness, they also hold the power to deepen our understanding of existence, urging us to live with intention, gratitude, and courage. By embracing both the light of life and the shadow of mortality, we unlock the true meaning behind these special days. So next time you celebrate a birthday, remember It is not just about adding another year, but about honoring the preciousness of every moment we are given. Let us live fully, love deeply, and face our finite journey with grace. Thank you.